Hello, Warwick.
Hello, Nicole.
Hello, listeners.
Hello, listeners.
I always wait for the feedback and they never say anything. It's
No,
terrible.
they never say hello.
Oh, it's terrible. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
What is the difference between a hippo and a zippo?
No.
One is very heavy and the other is a little lighter.
Welcome to the Tradies in Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nick unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
Work. There you go, I did it.
Thank you for indulging me.
That's actually pretty good.
I didn't mind that. I just found it on the fly. You know what I'm like? It's the last minute dash when I realised, oh, bugger, I haven't got a joke again.
That was worth the 4.5 minute wait for you to find that one.
Thank you. I didn't have to wade through a lot of really bad ones to get to know. Okay.
I want to tell my daughter that one, but she won't get it because she's not a smoker at 12 years of age.
Yeah, and I reckon maybe a Zippo isn't even a thing anymore, and lots of our listeners are like, what is she on about this?
I have a Zippo.
Do you?
And
Why
I've
do you
never
have a
smoked.
Zippo?
Because it used to be cool to carry it around camping to light my campfire. Because they're way better than matches and Bic lighters.
I'm going to leave it alone.
Why do you ask me these questions, Nicole? You know it's not going to go well.
I do not know.
You think after all these years you would have learned. But neither has my wife.
You need an award for the best waffles.
Well, I am excited to welcome a couple of people to the podcast today in a moment. And I reckon this bloke and I, the man partner and I, could go into business in a new hospitality food restaurant chain thing, and we could call it the Waffle Kings.
It's very funny.
Shane and Lara, hello, welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, Lara's just gone, oh yeah, great. I'm so excited to be here.
Don't worry, Lara, you and I are not going to Waffle Kings. We'll go somewhere else.
I can't imagine I'll be having too much to say today.
No, but there'd be all these wives coming in to have waffles, and then there could be all this free waffle so they could laugh at it instead of having to put up with their husband's waffle at home.
No, the waffle should be in short order, full stop.
Sounds like a solid business plan there, Will.
Maybe this is why I'm still doing this podcast after 10 plus years. Righto, let's talk about an award-winning episode today. Boom, boom.
Like, fine, though. You didn't even pick it up. I've given you the visual clue, the whole lot, and it's just like, no, I'm going to let that go.
The circling finger?
That was the visual clue.
The grey shark?
Yes.
We're serving shark-flavoured waffles?
No, you missed where I said you deserve an award.
Oh, no, I saw that one and I drove past it because anyway. Now we're talking about awards today. The Tradies in Business Excellence Awards are coming up, gang. If you haven't seen our copious amounts of pestering and nagging and spamming online, then here's another version of it here on the podcast, that you could enter the awards. And a lot of people will go, oh, yeah, but, awards don't do anything for you. You put a thing on your website, nothing happens, and it's a whole lot of work for nothing. And, what's the point, really? It's just all about Nick and Waz anyway, or was. And so there's a whole lot of skepticism about awards. I've been pretty skeptical about awards over the years and had some interesting experience, as Coxie has, and we've talked about this on the show before.
And?
But we thought it would be better if we dragged kicking and screaming a couple of our previous awards entrants into the studio to talk about, the skeptics right? Is it true? Or should we actually believe anything that Nick and Waz say about business awards? So before we do that, though, Shane and Lara, tell us a bit about who you are and how you came to be excitedly sitting here today with me and Nick.
You go first. Hi, team. Shane and Lara. Who is Shane and Lara? Well, Lara and Shane are Construct Industries. We run a plumbing and building company in Melbourne, and we've got, I don't know, handful of staff, but still a small family business.
And
Yep.
and a small family business.
You are not allowed to coach on today's podcast. Right?
Oh.
No coaching.
Banned from coaching. Shane just breathed a sigh of relief. How long have you guys been in business?
A while. I've pretty much, the only time I've had a job is when I've done the 2 apprenticeships. So to finish my first apprenticeship was SCD carpentry. Put that aside to do a plumbing apprenticeship and then started up Plumstruck. So yeah, I've worked for myself since I was probably 21.
So Shane, did you do one after the other with your 2 apprenticeships? There's no break in between?
No, I did finish my apprenticeship, my carpentry one, and then run a carpentry business. And by 31, I was sort of over carpentry, just doing the same pergolas and framing and lock-ups and fixes. And then got the opportunity from someone that I know really well. I got to learn really well. Had 100 staff himself and sort of was semi-retired. And he was a plumber, and he put me on as he was a builder actually, and he put me on as a plumber and said, as long as you run my jobs and do everything, I'll teach you how to do plumbing, and put me through trade school. And now he's like family. So, well, he's part of my family. And so he gave the opportunity to be a plumber, and then we did the plumbing, and then did the building.
Well, it's not the only one though. Don't you have a third trade under your belt?
Plumbing, building,
Roofing?
Oh, we do. Yeah. Well, that's part of your plumbing license.
Right.
So I got under your plumber's license, we've got gas, water, drainage, stormy, roofing. So we do all that, waterproofing. So, yeah.
So if you need anything,
Right.
we'll Shane.
Keep it all in-house.
Yeah.
Car restorer.
Yeah.
They're my,
Basket collector.
they're my hobbies, yeah. Building motorbikes and cars and, sort of, I'll give that a crack. So what's the worst that could happen?
And competitive waffler.
Well, I've got to go against you. It's pretty hard. I'm being told I can talk underwater. Right? I've never
I
tried.
can talk under cement, trust me.
All right. So now you guys have been kicking around with us for a little while now, long enough to know better than to come on the podcast with us. And yet here you are. But you guys, well, you didn't exactly enter the awards last year. You sort of did. But tell us a bit about how the journey to be standing on the stage at our last awards.
Okay, so we had Logie's night. We call it Logie's night. I was calling it Logie's night from the start. I said, if there's no red carpet, I'm not coming. Right. And there was a request before we started that I want the nominees to come up on the board, and then one of the guests that we had for the whole volunteer to open up an envelope and read out the winner. So it was like the Logie's night.
You didn't quite get your wish.
I didn't get my wish, but we're at the table, and I didn't know I was actually getting nominated for Bang Up Boss, which was one of them. I had no idea. The boys all kept that an absolute secret. And the other one, Lara's like, oh, we'll enter this one. And then she started throwing questions at me and then edited it. But I didn't know that we're successful in the final 3. So, there was like, oh, we went for an award, but I didn't really think they'd be up on like the final 3. So
I think the reason we entered the awards I think it was top of the trade.
Yeah.
Was not so much to win an award, but to reflect on what we had achieved in business so far. Because at that point, we were a bit low and it was difficult to see why we were doing what we were doing. And by answering those questions and getting Shane to really think about the answers, it made us realise how far we had actually come. So yeah, so there was that. And I sent the email around to the staff going, we're entering these awards. If you have any input, please let us know. And then, yeah, it turns out one of the staff actually nominated Shane as the best boss off his own back. So I had no doing with that. That was all them.
Shane, how did it feel when you realised you'd been nominated and then finally figured out who by? What did that feel like?
It was probably like getting the last number on the bingo ticket. Right, like you play the game of bingo, but you just play for the game. And then like when you get to yell at bingo, you're like, "Whoa, shit, this is awesome!" Right? You can come to my party. You don't have to bring a present, but when they bring you a 6-pack, you're like, "Shit, yeah, this is the best." Right? So that's probably the best way to explain it.
Oh, I love that. And I think it's something that we've said time and time again. Like you, I had no idea when I was nominated for my Business Partner of the Year award with the HIA many, many years ago. It was a complete surprise to me. I think part of becoming a winner or a finalist is actually not the end goal here for me. It was very much about learning that somebody valued me enough to nominate me and take the time to fill in the nomination and do the work behind that, because they thought I was good at what I was doing and that should be appreciated. And I think when we talk, that's part of why we've created the awards, is the twofold, actually. You've mentioned both. Was the opportunity for others to share how they're feeling about someone by nominating them for one of the awards. And then secondly, so you can do that second part you spoke to, Lara, and that's the reflection exercise, because we often, in fact, I think most of us never take time to reflect over the journey so far, what we have accomplished. Instead, we're focused on the next stress point or the next fire we need to put out, rather than taking that time to look backwards and think, you know what, I really have kicked it in this business. So, Lara, maybe you could explain for us what that process in itself was like, that reflective exercise you had to do to fill out the application for the top of trade.
Yeah, it was interesting because Shane is a waffler, obviously, and also not a writer or typist or anything like that. So he was reluctant to fill out the papers, so to speak. And part of me kind of wanted the judges to see Shane's personality a bit as well. So we actually had a friend come and interview Shane, essentially, with the questions. So he was able to answer them verbally. Obviously, we'd had to think about what our answers were going to be beforehand.
A lot of them, you just asked me the questions and I had to just sort of blurt it out.
Yeah.
Like just wing it. But, well, not wing it, but it was more, it wasn't like a cast script that I followed for a question. It was like, what are your thoughts on this? Or what are your thoughts on training your boys up? And he'd be like, nah, I think the way we're going in the direction of training them up and keeping them accountable is the right way to do it. You know, so it was answers like that off the back.
Off the back, not scripted.
Yeah.
But in terms of, reading the questions first, doing a bit of research, figuring out what we wanted to say and what we wanted to try and get across, we'd spent, had a couple of conversations about that first. And yeah, then
it was just funny.
Then it was just. I seriously think the first cut of the video was 45 minutes long. and I said to the friend who was editing it, man, you got 45 minutes. Nah, it's got to be like 5 minutes max. And I think he could get it down to 11.
I've never watched the video. I've just realized I need to go back and find your entry from last year, because we're not involved in the judging. We purposely stay out of it because it would be hard not to bring our preconceived ideas around our clients into that process. So we stay well out of it. I've never looked at any of the judging paraphernalia at all. And now I've realized maybe I've made an error. I should go back retrospectively and have a look, because that would be really fascinating.
You should definitely go back and have a look.
Yeah. The Bang Up Boss one, I only just got like 12 months later what one of the boys had written. And I was like, really? Like, if he keeps that, he's never leaving, right? Like, that was the nicest thing someone's ever written. And it sort of made you push you even harder to go, all right, I'm not letting these boys down. So, yeah, that was a good one too, to go back and reflect on what the boys had written. So, yeah.
So maybe you can talk about reading through that, understanding what they were saying and how that did have that impact on how you worked with the team after that point.
Yeah, so the first bit is why we joined TIB. Well, you got to sort of understand why we joined is because I wasn't getting anywhere myself in how to train the boys, trying to communicate with them because I got my own communication method of just do it, but to try and help coach them along. So it was just sort of going backwards and forwards for a good 12 months. And then we started TIB and we learned how to manage the boys and keep them accountable, job scheduling and stuff like that, which therefore made the transformation for them was that, Shane can be not nice, but can do all these things that keeps them motivated. So then when you read that letter of motivation later, and one of them that I read was from an employee that I've known since I was 16. He came to our wedding, right? Like, so he's one of my great mates that works for us and like's been through a lot, everything else himself, was a chippy with me when I did our first apprenticeships together. And then he's now my plumber. Yeah, so to read that from him still meant that he had that, is admiration a word or admire? Yes. Like that, to say that about me, myself, to say, you know, like he's always done these things, he's helped me at this stage and everything else. That was just amazing to read. It's like, yeah, we have been sort of reimburses the fact that we have been friends since he was 16, but when it comes to work, we work together. But yeah, Friday night we have a beer, and we haven't done that for at least 3 years. But you know, we it's still nice to read that what your friend and employee thought of you, and even to nominate you was amazing.
It's a lovely reward.
Yeah,
for the hard work that you guys put in. You've put in a lot of hard work over the last 12 months or so. Because it is a bit of a journey, right? Changing up your business. And I just want to point out that the awards, if you're a listener, they're not client only. We're very much welcoming anybody to enter the awards. Last year, I think we only had clients, to be really open and honest. We'd love to see some non-client registrations as well, because like I said, we don't judge the awards. That's done by external judges for that exact reason, so that we can remain super impartial. Our judges are chosen specifically. We've excluded some this year because they had existing relationships with some of our clients. So we do work really hard to make sure that they have had minimal contact with any of our clients, if any at all, so that they can be really professional in what they're doing. It's really important to us that the right people win on their merits. Can we talk about the video process a little bit? Because that was even a hard decision for Warwick and I to make. We love seeing the personalities shine through. And as I said, we haven't watched any of them, but we know that most trades really don't want to sit down and write for hours. Many other applications that you do for awards are hours and hours of writing. It's really quite a boring process, both for the entrant and the judges. Being a judge I judge some of the HIA awards every year. It's not fun. It's interesting, and I really enjoy the whole process. And sitting down and reading the applications is really quite brain numbing at times. So I think it's important that you have the opportunity to share more of your personality through the videos. And lots of people find that really confronting. So can we talk about whether that was hard for you guys to decide that was the best avenue for you to enter the awards through, or whether it was just a no-brainer for you? It was really quite easy.
It was actually a bit of both. It was a bit of a no-brainer in terms of Shane writing the awards. He was always going to be better personally. However, the perfection part of me and the little part in my brain that says these are awards was like, no, it should be a formal process and things should be written perfectly and all those kind of things. I guess in hindsight now, with the creation of ChatGPT, it's probably a lot better to be having them done on video because you can't just get AI to write your answers for you.
Yeah.
But conversely, there was no way I was going on video at all. So I am not in the video.
And yet here you are today on video.
Shane is the one that gives all the answers in the video because, there was no way I was doing it. So, we know our roles.
The video bit was actually quite easy. It was super easy. Super, super easy. You just sort of sat there and asked a question and you just answered the question from your gut. That was super easy. I'm good at that. Well, you don't even have to be good at it. It's just you seriously don't have to be good at it. Just say what your question is from what the question is, say what the answer is, and you're done.
I think it was easier because we had a friend do an interview style process. So she had read the question out or asked the question, and then she was also able to ask follow-up questions if Shane started waffling and perhaps didn't quite get the information out that she knew, because she knows our business. She knew that we should be telling.
Yep. So
she was able to ask leading questions to get that information out of Shane, which was quite helpful, I thought.
Hey, Tradies in Business was here. Sorry to interrupt your listening pleasure. I'm joined by Coxie, of course.
Hello.
You may not know this, Tradie or Tradie wife or whoever you are listening to this program, but we're business coaches. Oh my gosh, that feels weird to say. But we do actually work with people just like you to solve a bunch of problems. And we have this fantastic program called the Tradiepreneur program, and that's how we do it. And we do it with a wonderful community of trade business owners who are all trying to fix or improve or change things to progress. Things like getting behind on quoting, Coxie.
Feeling overwhelmed, behind on your invoicing, feeling really stressed or frustrated about the money stuff. Sometimes you can pay the bills, sometimes you can't. What about staff? Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, staff.
Trying to get them to do what you want them to do, if you can even find them in the first place. There's so many struggles.
And we've seen clients tackle these things in their trade businesses in quite a short space of time, to be honest, during the program, and recruit staff at a time where everybody was saying you can't get good staff, improve their quality from their team, collect their debts much more quickly. We have sessions.
Getting tips?
Yes. Getting tips, yes. So people rounding up, customers rounding up the invoice by hundreds of dollars because they're so happy with the sales process and the experience of dealing with the trade business owner and their team. So some amazing stories from our clients. But, as they say in the commercials, don't take it from us. Hear what some of our clients have to say.
Coming into Christmas, we are not worried about money. We've got enough money in the bank to pay everybody's leave. There's work booked in for the new year. And for the first time in a long time, we'll be having 3 weeks off and not worrying about the business. That's probably the biggest win of all.
Using the cash flow forecast, I've been able to look into the future and see where I'm going to be situated financially. And it's actually started to have a huge bearing on whether or not I make purchases.
By far, one of the best things about working with Nick and Moz are the other businesses that are working alongside them. It is amazing how empowering it is to be working alongside like-minded people who have similar goals, similar troubles. We can all relate to each other, and everybody helps everybody out by figuring out problems with you that they may have faced previously. Everybody has solutions and constructive feedback, and it's an incredibly friendly, warm, welcoming environment, not threatening at all.
From every job, I know that I will get a sustainable wage that's industry leading. I can have at least 10 to 20% profit, and I can pay taxes, super, all of that, and I do not have to question whether or not I can because of the way that it's been built, and that is thanks to Tradies in Business and what they've taught me and what I've learned.
So there you go. There's some real people. We did not pay them to say those things. And I think that sounds a lot better than Coxie and I reading them out. we really would love for you to check out more about how you could take your trade business to where you would like it to be. Surely you have a vision of what things could be like or what you wish they were like on a day-to-day basis, whether that is reducing stress or actually making more money. Maybe it's spending more time with the family, taking more holidays, having the choice that you really wanted when you started your business instead of this beast that seems to be there for many of you listening to this program. So if you want to find out more about how we do this through the Tradiepreneur program, Coxie's going to tell you all about it.
I'm actually not. I'm going to be really secretive and keep all of our magic up our sleeves. What I would like you to do, though, is head on over to tradiesinbusiness.com.au and you can learn all about us, why we do what we do, and how you can work with us, what that actually looks like. There's a whole bunch of free stuff there for you to download, lots of options. We've always got new stuff going up onto the website and a great place for you to learn a whole bunch more about how you can work with us. You can even book a 15-minute chat.
For free.
For free.
That's how abundant we are. So head over to the website, check it out, book a chat with us, and we'd love to find out if you'd be a great fit for the Tradiepreneur community and start hanging out with some of those people that you just heard from. Guys, can I ask about the awards submission and that as almost dare I say, a business coaching exercise or opportunity? Has there been anything from, doing the video and answering those questions or the written submission for either, well, you didn't know about the Bang Up Boss one, but has there been anything that you've taken from that and actually implemented into your business as a result of sort of entering the awards or perhaps realizations that you've had about yourselves or your business afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. Shane won't know this because I don't think he even knows that we do it. But there was a question around business sustainability and I can't even remember the exact question. Might have been how our business impacts the environment or something like that. I'm not sure. And it actually led me to research our suppliers a little bit more, and our waste guys and where our waste was going. Because it really clicked something for me to say, a building site does create a lot of rubbish, and how are we trying to minimize that? So I was looking for suppliers that, didn't wrap in plastic and all those kind of things. So that's the main one that I can think of the top of my head. That Trent, you'd have to remind me what the other questions are for me to remember if they're
it's all good. It was a while ago now, and maybe a few bubbly wines and bourbons. Shane, what about you, mate? Particularly, I guess, on the boss side of things.
Mindset was probably, if you call it mindset. I remember getting awards coming home and everyone's like, how'd it go? And I'm like, and it sort of still hadn't really sunk in. So I sort of showed people the award and they're like, you won that? And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? Like, how do these things even happen? And that probably took a couple of weeks to sign in, and with then working away, you're like, well, maybe I am really good at this. So it was that whole recognition from what come with winning the award.
I think you gained a bit of confidence in.
Yeah, it was a confidence thing. I did get
realised that you deserved it.
Yeah, I did get the confidence after doing like the 60 minutes interview. Not 60 minutes interview, literally. When we'll get
not with Tracy.
No, it wasn't. When I got asked the questions by our friend, like you sat on a chair and it's like, oh my God, it just feels like 60 minutes interview, right? Not literally. Sorry about that, people. So I did that, and it was probably a week or two later. You're like, that was some pretty good questions. Like, and then you never think you're going to get the award or a award. But that realization to then get the award a couple of weeks later, and then like a month later, it sort of sat in, and that whole process sort of aired in my head, because sometimes it does take 2 or 3 weeks. That felt really good, like actually great. Like I was telling people, like I go to the supplier, I'm like, I want runner-up builder of the year, right? Like all that. The Bang Up Boss, and they're like, yeah, well, you deserve it. You come in here and you show us and you show the boys what what we do, you know, if the plumbing lady at the desk doesn't know something about a part, you go, no, it's like this, and that helps her for other plumbers, and you know, you really do lead an example. So that was good. It sort of reinforced that fact.
So it sounds like what you're saying is you didn't realise your own achievements or awesomeness, but either of you, and even in your business, until you kind of got that external, of course you won that. You're tops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I've never really known or thought about it because I've always lived in my little bubble. Like just everyone, like you live in your community and some people ring you up in your whole community and say, oh, can you fix this? You're like, yeah, no, it's. You sort of wonder why. You're like, everyone should know how to fix a hot water service. Like, you just undo this and this, and that's it. Right? So you never really figure out your true talent in anything because you're trained in that. That's why you're a tradesman and you're trained in that field. But you never realise that no other people know that field. Like, So, to win an award, win that, to know that sort of stuff is probably more of a game than not thinking that you're just a fencer or you're just something. You got to be, you learn something more.
So has anything changed since you won the award?
Anything changed? I don't think anything's changed. Like, I don't really think about the award and went, I'm an award winner, therefore I should be able to do best. There's still days that you go, oh my God, like this is just so hard. Like, but I don't think anything's changed. It was just, it's more so a mindset thing that if you keep going, you know, like the award's there, but keep going because you have one, like, you know, how do you explain it? Keep trying. It's you are great at what you do, right? And this is just another hurdle. It's not going to break you. Let's go. I'd like get onto it. So nothing's changed. It just does make you try a little harder.
I think it's crucial for listeners to understand you do not have to be the very best at anything to be an award winner. And that's not to take away from any award winner at any time. Some of this is around how you communicate it. So I would suggest that the video was really important because people got to understand who you are and how passionate you are about what you do. Likewise, being nominated for Bang Up Boss by your team is pretty spectacular and allows them the opportunity to have their enthusiasm shine through. I think that's the most attractive part. It's judging is very subjective. And so it really, if I were encouraging any listener to put their hat in the ring and give it a go, I would suggest that you put as much personality into your applications as possible so that people have the opportunity to get to know who you are and what your passions are, rather than it just being that ambiguous, like the written form we were talking about. It's a little difficult to insert your personality into written form. So I don't think, often we discard the opportunity to enter into an award because we don't think we're best. And it's not necessarily about best. Sometimes it's about passion. It's about change. Some of our awards are very much about the changes you've made in business, or they're about what your apprentice is doing and how we're able to give that apprentice recognition. Or the Real Boss Award is it's always going to be my favorite, where we're recognizing the tradie wives that play an integral part in business and tend to be forgotten about unless we're working to highlight them and assert their authority. I also feel like it's an opportunity as a runner-up or a winner. It doesn't have to be about winning. There's this entering awards is very much about the process. And within that process, then we have the opportunity to celebrate that with our clients and our team and our suppliers, as you have pointed out, Shane, so that everybody can have a moment of recognition because they all play a part in getting you to that point as well. So there's a lot of benefits to entering awards, even though it might be a little scary to do so. Yes, Shane.
I think the key word for me, actually, just sorry to cut you in, was the word passionate.
Yeah.
That was the key word. Like, you're obviously in the trade for a reason. You love your job and everything else. And to be passionate and to explain why you're there for not even the award, but just why you're there is to give that passion a go just to explain for that reason of being passionate and explain what you do as a tradesperson or as a person. That was the key word for me, was just being passionate.
Love it.
Can I add something that you were just saying there, Nicole, about, you know, what you do with the information afterwards and all that? I think that one of the other members who won one of the awards actually wrote a bit of a press release about what they won and emailed it out, and ended up getting, you know, some coverage for that and a whole lot of extra work off the back of that award. So, you know, there's plenty of benefits other than a certificate to hang on your wall. I guess you can, you know, you could cut snippets from your video and use it in social media. There's like so many other things. We had the banner on the bottom of our emails for a long time that said that we were won nominees, and then afterwards award runners up, and, you know, people would comment on that. So, you know, there's lots of little bits and pieces that come, you know, as a benefit from putting in the award that is not winning the award at the end.
Yeah.
Great point.
One thing that hasn't been asked, and I don't know whether it's a premature question, was actually at the night when you received the award, it was the actual other people that still missed out were still so like, oh, you won one, you know, like that was amazing. But the team support of winning the award and the people who didn't was just like nothing I'd ever seen before. Like there were, I suppose the word without saying the word was like there was no sore losers in the room.
Not at all.
Not at all. It was the most amazing thing that I've ever seen before in my life. Like it wasn't, it was the gratitude that everyone from the rest of the world
Everyone shared in the win. For everybody else.
That's exactly what I was trying to explain.
Yeah.
That was more better than actually winning the award itself. Right, for me.
Nick and I talk a lot about our community, particularly our tradiepreneur community that you guys are part of as program members, and it still not surprises me, but I'm just always impressed with how supportive and collaborative our clients are. I mean, you know, you guys are clients of ours. You pay money to be part of the program. Let's call it for what it is, and as do the rest of our tradiepreneurs. And yet every time I see our people get together, there is no sour grapes, as you're talking about, Shane. And I think
never has
for award ceremonies that I've been to over the years through sporting clubs and, you know, I've been to business awards, I've won business awards and been runner-up and stuff. And you hear the crowd when award winners are announced, and there's the little clique or the posse that are going through the roof. Yeah, was won the award, and everybody else is like, yeah, good on you, mate, whatever. It's shitty because I didn't get it, but I'll clap because that's what you have to do, just in case someone's watching me. There was none of that with our community. I think it's just, I was blown away as one of the presenters with Coxie up on stage that the flipping roof nearly blew off every time we announced a winner, because every single person, as you said, mate, was just stoked.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. That was the most amazing thing that I've ever seen. Like the support from everyone else wasn't even about the award of themselves, right? It was amazing.
And I think even people are willing to help each other with the awards.
Yeah.
So we know there's a private group that we could put a thing in saying, you know, can you help me answer this question for this particular award? And you get, you know, comments from everybody to say, yeah, you do this and you do that. So nobody's holding their information to themselves so that they can be the winner. Everybody's, you know, open and helpful and supportive and wants everybody to have the same kind of experience together. So, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, guys, I got a really important question to ask. Are you entering the awards this year?
Yes.
Are we?
Yeah.
Of course you are, Shane.
Yeah.
do you think you're worthy again this year, Shane?
Yeah, I like totally. I just wanted to give everyone else a go. No, I've got. That's being cocky, right?
Can you spell humility?
Yeah, no, no,
Yes.
I didn't mean that.
The award.
It was getting a bit serious for me. It's not like,
And I ask that because you guys, and we're not going to give lots away. You guys have had some challenging periods in business since the awards last year. You've had some tough lessons that you've learned. You've made a lot of changes and been some great positive steps forward in your journey, as Coxie rightly put it. You know, business is not a 12-month journey in a program. It's 5, 10, 15, 20 years of making change and adapting and dealing with challenges as they come up. So, I ask that question deliberately because it's easy for our confidence and our self-belief to get knocked around by some of those events and then get to this year's award entry and go, I don't know, because we become very focused on the struggle and the challenge and forget about the good stuff that we're still doing.
And I think that's exactly why we will enter again this year, just so that we can, again, reflect on the last 12 months and maybe learn some other lessons again through that. Look at the changes between last time and this time. How far have we actually come? Because the questions aren't related to dollars. So, there are still wins in our business, and to be able to find them and express them will be good for everybody's mindset.
Yeah, that first stage of actually going through that was more important than actually doing, like sending off the award, was the reflection of the questions that you're going to get asked to go, well, you know what, we have done all right. Because everyone does focus on the shit stuff and remembers the shit stuff. Everyone is just nature. But to actually put good stuff into words or into thoughts, or just to have them float in the air and go, okay, and take that, it brings you back to reality.
It's a great response, guys. Couldn't have scripted it better myself. I'll send you the $50 later.
Thanks.
So I reckon that's about it. You guys have absolutely nailed the whole ethos behind, and I'll say our business awards, and I don't mean to say that from a place of arrogance or self-importance, but Coxie and I have been very passionate about creating, I guess, a different kind of awards. There's some really big awards. There's been one recently that, someone else has got on the bandwagon of the all trades kind of business awards thing. And that's cool because I think the more trades are celebrated in business awards specifically, the better. I think often it's hard for trade businesses to go up against some of the other businesses in their category because they're not as flashy. They don't have the big public profiles, and it's not as obvious that they're doing great things. So I think trades deserve their own category. And we still want ours to have, you talked about, still the small family business. And I think something that ought to be celebrated more is people like yourselves, those couples, those families that, you have an employee who you did your apprenticeship with. That's the sort of values that I think we would love to see perpetuated through our Tradies in Business Excellence Awards, because it's about excellence. It's not about making shit tons of money or, having the best marketing strategy. So thank you for sharing your insights with us today, gang. I know Shane was super excited about this and Lara maybe not so. It's,
passionate. Although I'd like to see some red carpet at the front of the doors.
I think what we can work out for you, Shane.
Yeah. And maybe can we get the little people to open up envelopes and go, and the winner?
The little people? Is that Nick and I?
Warwick and I, and yes, I reckon we can organise some
We're the little people. We're the little people. The little people will open the envelope.
And then is it 3 months to get like Miss Congeniality music when you're walking up on stage?
I think you might be pushing the envelope.
And next thing you're going to ask for me to do Fozzie Bear Waka Waka when you actually win, mate. I'll have to grow my hair a lot longer for that one. Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. Listeners, if you would like to, or even if you wouldn't like to, but you think I probably should enter the awards now after this amazing episode,
100% give it a go.
Thank you,
Even if
Shane.
don't take yourself
Even if it's the wrong award for what you're trying to get across, at least go through the process.
Yep.
Right?
Great.
Yeah,
pick one.
100%.
Pick one.
just pick one and go, all right, give it a crack.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So back yourself, give it a crack. Yeah, there's nothing to lose.
100%. So we'll put the links to enter in the show notes and the description, gang. So you can just scroll to the bottom of this episode, tap on the description, and you can go straight through to your to the wait list to get your entry in. I can't remember when entries close, Coxie, because I didn't write it down, and I'm really rubbish at that stuff. But all the details are on the website that the link will take you through to, and that way I don't have to look like more of an idiot by giving you the wrong date.
Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business, and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.